Okay, so I got one for you guys today. This is the Crown XLS Drivecore 1002, paired with the Magnet Transpulse 15. And that's in my living room, and I don't really want to take it apart because I've been listening to it for about 2 weeks. It's been sitting in my garage. It was powering a pair of old Serwin Vega speakers that I had, or that I have. God, I've got so many Serwin Vega speakers, it's not even funny. And so I started watching a whole bunch of reviews on Crown amps, because I was like, man, I should pair that with these two big Magnats that I've got. And they're like a 15-inch speaker, paper cone, paper mid-range, 6.5 inch, and then it's got the dual soft dome tweeters. Andrew Robinson does a great review on those speakers, and he says that they're pretty damn close to a Klipsch Forte. Are they? Never had them in the same room, so I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to say that. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that. Have I heard the Forte? Sure, I have a few times. Have I heard the Magnets? Yeah. They're not as. They're a nostalgic, old school 15-inch boom speaker. You know what I mean? Like boom speaker. And I like it. I like them. For like they were $2,900, and I got them at Best Buy for $995 Canadian for both of them. So I was like, I think I'm gonna buy them. But anyway, Randy Cheap Audio Man, he reviewed the Crown amplifier, the 1002 Drivecore. So I mean, you've probably, if you're looking at this video, you probably know the specs. You're probably looking at, maybe buying one, or testing one out or whatever. I've heard 100 amplifiers. Class D, there's no doubt about it. DJs use these speakers, or these amplifiers, to power PA speakers. They're like, just the specs. At 2 ohms, they're 550 watts. 4 ohms, they're 350 watts. At 8 ohms, they're 215 watts. And if you bridge them at 8 ohms, that will go down to 4 ohms at 1100 watts, up to 700 watts. In 8 ohms, you're dealing with an extreme amount of headroom. So, like, I have an RZ50 sitting out there, and that's Class D. And conveniently enough, they're both Ice Power Class D, which is, Scandinavian. It's made in Sweden or Denmark, somewhere over there, Ice Power. Ice Power is kind of like, maybe not the godfather of Class D, but it's definitely, one of the originals of Class D, This amp doesn't get hot. I don't think I've ever had the fan turn on. It can drive those speakers up to about 114, 115 dB without an issue, without a sweat. I've got it trimmed down so there's no clipping. And I think, you'd probably be looking at 2 o'clock on the 2 dials. But where Randy, and I love Randy because he explains stuff really well. That's my dog coming in out of the dog door. He uses a source because this amplifier does not have any volume. So you need a source, you need a preamp. You need a preamp or a streamer as a source. So I'm using the NAD C700, which is an amplifier as well, has a ESS 9018 or something DAC chip. That was reviewed by a lot of people too. It's not a new piece of equipment. It's older, and it's Blue OS. Blue OS, not my favorite operating system. The Blue OS operating system. It's okay, but it's not my favorite. I've been thinking forever to get Rune. You know what I mean? Get Rune. But that shit's like, I don't know, $1,000 Canadian for life, and I wouldn't want to pay monthly for it. I pay enough shit monthly, so whatever. Lots of guys call this amplifier dry, cool, but huge bass. So I'm going to tell you right now, they're not lying about the huge bass, especially on a 15-inch open, baffle speaker like the Magnet Transpulse, which by no means is an audiophile speaker. And by no means is this an audiophile amplifier. But if you pair it with a good DAC and a good source, because I like to run things flat. I don't like EQs. I don't like EQs at all. And then the secret is you pair it with a really interesting, lively speaker like the Magnet Transpulse, which are very, very easy to run. I think they're like 97 or 98 dB. I would have to Google that. You can't even buy those speakers in Canada anymore. I got lucky when I bought them as far as I'm concerned. But I'm actually overwhelmed for $634. And the only reason I'm doing this video is because I was going through Amazon. And on this day last year, I bought that amplifier. And it's been sitting in my garage. And every once in a while, I use it on some Cerwin Vegas. But I've never, ever really tested it out, like really given it a shot, an honest shot. Well, I got a big stereo system downstairs that's worth a few bucks, and I find myself sitting in my living room, like I'm in my kitchen right now in front of my iMac that I'm trying to set up, and basically listening to this Drivecore, this 1002 XLS Drivecore. And I even had my neighbor come over. And I'll be honest with you, my neighbor prefers the Klipsch RF or RP 8000 Mark IIs. It's more his thing, which is weird because he's an older guy and you'd think that he would like that big paper 15-inch driver a little bit better. He says he really loves the sparkle of the Klipsch, the top, the forwardness of the Klipsch. And so because we swap back and forth cables and shit like that. So it was pretty cool. I do not think that this amplifier is cool. And I mean that in a sound way. I think this amplifier is going to do what an amplifier does. It gives you everything that you send it. The better your source, the better the sound. And that's with every amplifier on earth. The better the source, the better the sound. It's got XLRs. My NAD doesn't have XLRs. I'd love to try XLRs because you can actually change the voltage input, from like 1.7 volts or whatever to, 3.8 or 4 volts, because XLRs, they give you more volts. And XLR to me sounds the best, versus the single-ended RC cables. But yeah, there's a lot of settings. I'm actually thinking about buying another one, putting it right underneath the other one, and basically turning them into monoblocks. And just like for $634, like, come on, get real. Like, why wouldn't you? Because headroom is everything when it comes to an amplifier. If you don't have the frickin' headroom, you don't have the sound. You just don't. You're bringing your amplifier over to where it's incapable of delivering you the maximum possibility of sound. And I mean, at 700 watts per side, that's more than enough, because those speakers peak at 400. So you'd be at like, I don't know, man. I'm at half volume already. I might be at quarter volume on my preamp. So if you've ever thought about buying a crown amp, for home theater purposes, because you could stack them and do all your channels, I don't see why anyone wouldn't do that, because the sound quality is pretty good. And I mean, I have a huge power amp downstairs for my home theater, and I mean, God, it's I'm 350 from LCR, left, right, and center. And I don't know, man, these crown amps, they can push power. I don't think I'm wrong on that one. But I just start with the 1002 and then move from there, because you could buy two of them and have all the power you'll ever need for anything, especially for a garage setup. And to be quite honest with you, with the great big vaulted ceilings that I've got and whatnot, it just shakes the very ground of my upstairs. My downstairs is all on concrete, and there's sound, dampening and stuff all the way around. And I mean, yeah, it's 220 watts per side, class AB, with some subwoofers and, some big Klipsch R7 and it sounds pretty frickin' amazing down there. I mean, I'm a Klipsch fanboy, so it's probably why I ran into the magnets, because the magnets are, Klipsch is the one who carries them, or Vox, or whoever owns Klipsch. Anyway, the Crown XLS 1002, it's pretty fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I would buy one. I would buy another one. I am going to buy another one, just to see what it would do with that much more headroom. The more headroom you have, the better your sound. I've always believed that mono blocks are always better for separation. They're better for noise. They're just better. Anyway, you guys have a great day. And if you're hesitating on a crown amp, don't, because they're cheap. And God, do they put out power. Even if you're just building a garage system, like, fucking do it. It's crazy power. Anyway, you guys have a good day.